The eye of the tiger picture. He's actually in custody. This is right after he was technically arrested over that, whatever that stuff was. Who can remember? Alvin Bragg. So the FBI raided his home. Remember that? So this actually could lead to charges filed against Donald Trump, federal charges filed against Donald Trump this week. Remember when they put the documents on the ground? Never telling us, oh, by the way, that some of these folders are empty. But I have a whole new take on the case. I always knew it was bogus, but now I do believe it was a trap. This is Timothy Parlatore, formerly on Trump's defense team, said something about this case that I did not know, comparing how National Archives treated Trump to other previous presidents.
The negotiation is over the next 2 years after any president leaves office. They're supposed to go through all of the records, and they're supposed to separate out what is personal, what is presidential. Right. Personal they get to keep. All presidential records end up at the National Archives headquarters in D.C. This ordinarily happens where NARA gets a facility in the town where the president has moved to. So in Chicago for Obama, down in Texas for the Bushes, and all of them are held in that facility. Here, what NARA did instead is they chose not to get a facility like that. They had GSA move everything to his house, and then we're asking him to immediately send everything from his house back up to D.C., where he wouldn't be able to go through them as convenient.
Wow. That's fascinating, and we looked it up. It's true. When Barack Obama left office, the National Archives had already rented this facility in Chicago just for those papers, so they could bring it there and they would be close to Barack Obama. The records of the Obama administration will be housed in a converted furniture warehouse and showroom in Hoppin Estates, about 30 miles northwest of Chicago. When Bush left office back in 2009, they had something all set up for him in Texas, a major warehouse. Yeah, let's see here. It was in Louisville, Texas, approximately 20 miles from the permanent library site. Bill Clinton as well. They had it all set up ahead of time. They had a nice little facility to put the papers temporarily before they were moved to the library or back to the archives. But when it came to Trump, they didn't get a special warehouse. They just said, take them back to your house. Interesting. I believe it was a trap all along. And the National Archives are deep state, very woke, and not to be trusted.
I was negotiating with NARA. Do you know what NARA is?
The National Archives.
Extremely left group of people. Extremely left. And I was negotiating with them. All of a sudden, they raided my house.
You hear the knee-jerk reaction of the media. They're not left, they're bipartisan. Yes, they are left. Here's proof. Here's the director of the National Archives being very woke.
There's never been a female archivist, has there?
No, and that's advice I've given to the White House already, that you better not hire another white male. That we've had 10 white males.
That is textbook virtue signaling. Hey, look at me. I'm white, but I'm saying you shouldn't hire any more white people. I'm the last one. Wow, these people are woke, and these people trapped Trump. Yes, they did. They tried to, at least, when the boxes were leaving the White House, okay? They couldn't just watch TV. They had to pick up the phone and try to make a federal case out of it. This is January 20th of 2021, and I think that guy you just heard talking for the National Archives sees this and says, I can remember watching the Trumps leaving the White House and saying to myself, what the hell's in that box? Next, please. That began a whole process of trying to determine whether any records had not been turned over to the archives. You snakes. You knew how to handle this ahead of time. You knew how to follow the Obama playbook, the Bush playbook, the Clinton playbook, but I think you were out to undermine, get these guys. You came close. Meanwhile, shot by your own gun, Joe Biden, a swamp favorite, all those secret documents right behind that silly Corvette. You remember in the aftermath of the Mar-a-Lago raid and the picture that the FBI put out trying to get everybody upset. Oh, my God. Well, this is possibly the most hypocritical moment in all of hypocrisy's history.
When you saw the photograph of the top secret documents laid out on the floor at Mar-a-Lago, what did you think to yourself, looking at that image?
How that could possibly happen. How anyone could be that irresponsible. And I thought, what data was in there that may compromise sources and methods? By that, I mean names of people who helped or et cetera. And it's just totally irresponsible.
Sure you did, Joe. You had absolutely no authorization to have secret stuff all over your house. As a senator, some of the stuff going all the way back to your Senate days, a man who lies like that so confidently is very, very vain. I've noticed that about Joe. He's a vain guy. A long time ago, it was noticed that he dresses rich, okay? Even though he boasted of being the poorest man in the Senate. What would our founding fathers have made of this character, huh? Our great founding fathers. We were so lucky that they were where they were, when they were. Sam Adams, one of them, beautiful quote a friend of mine showed me today. Sam Adams, I think he'd be appalled. If ever a time should come when vain and aspiring men shall possess the highest seats in government, our country will stand in need of its experienced patriots to prevent its ruin. Experienced patriots. That's all of us. That's all of us. And we are all needed to save this country. I'll be right back.